Welcome back, everybody. This is Gas Presents Sports for the Culture. It's episode 17. We got a great show waiting for you all. Welcome to all my new listeners out there. You're in store for something great. If you're a returning listener, hey, strap in like always and get ready. Let me introduce my panel, man, my brothers. Top left, state your name.
Hey, y'all know what time it is. We do this. Good ass sports, Scruff Lion. Y'all know what time it is. NBA is getting hot and spicy. I'm ready to dive in.
Yes, sir. Bottom left. Let's go.
It's your boy Demolo Vagu, man. We're a couple of weeks away from having maybe fantasy football. I'm itching the draft. I just can't wait.
Yeah, man. We might get football back, man. Let's go. Bottom right.
Hey, it's your boy Young Rome 22 on all the socials. I'm very excited to get football back. Hopefully, we definitely got a fantasy season and a football season. But right now, man, I'm hyped for this NBA, man. The bubble has been wonderful, man. We got to get into this.
For sure. We got a big slate today. I guess I never introduced myself. I am T Boogie at T, 2 E's, 2 underscores, and a Boogie, baby. Instagram and Twitter, follow me. But we got a lot to talk about in the bubble, man. The bubble's heating up, man. It's heating up better than I think most people expected. This NBA restart is giving us a lot of good moments, a lot of big moments. Dame and Paul George beef, Dame and Skip beefing. Dame seems he's catching a lot of heat right now, but he's also giving a lot of smoke. TJ Warren, we got a lot of guys going crazy. Book, Luka, Sixers. We got a lot of information, man. A lot of stuff going on. Let's just get it started, man. Let's start where we at. Dame just went for 60, coming off of a 50 night, coming off of a missing 2 clutch free throws against the Clippers, which sparked everything, man. How do you guys feel about that whole exchange and what's going on right now with Portland and Dame?
Hey, I'm loving it, man. If y'all watched last week, y'all know what I said, man. I said what I said. The Blazers going to get that last spot, man. And right now, they already have the 8th spot. So not even are they coming from behind trying to play into the 9th seed. They have now the upper advantage. They in the 8th spot right now, which means whoever gets that 9th seed, if they can hold on to that position, it's going to play them twice. So I'm loving everything. I'm loving the energy Dame's coming with right now, man. He basically saying Dame Lillard versus everybody. Who wants it? And he coming straight with it. And he calling folks out, bro. What he said about Paul George, man, that was – woo, that was probably one of the realest comments I've ever seen a player make on Instagram. Like, that was shots fired. He said, them boys chumps.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and summarize it for the folks out there that didn't quite catch it. Dame misses 2 clutch free throws. Beverly and George are on the bench screaming Dame time, just kind of taunting them. Clippers win that game. Beverly gets on IG and basically says Cancun on 3. Paul George follows up with you're going home. Like, and Dame basically called them boys chumps, man. Said they're scared of the grind. They're switching teams. Might be true. And called them chumps, man. Steve Malo, man. How do you feel about all of that?
Shit, man. That's one man. If there's an Aaron Rodgers in the NBA, it is Damian Lillard. That's a bad man right there, yeah. That man, his arch is just nasty. And damn, man, I think they gotta put some respect on that man's name. He did take them boys home a couple times, send them to Cancun or Barbados or wherever anybody wants to go in the summertime when they're in the playoffs no more. At this point, man, Damian Lillard, man, I was going for the Lakers, but if that's looking like a Portland versus Laker, I'll say that goes to 7 games because if Damian has anything to say, it's just damn. But then again, man, we're talking about King James. I don't want to jump the gun just yet, but I don't know, man. I feel bad for anybody who has to see him in the first round. It's never been too pretty anybody going up against him in the first round. You could call Houston and you call the Thunders. Look what he did to both of those teams. Send him in refill mode ASAP.
Dame has definitely sent some
flip-flop.
Dame has definitely sent some boys home, man. Ron, what you think about Dame, man?
Beach sandal, boy.
Man, I love it, man. Dame is bringing the energy we all need and we all miss, man. It seemed like we were without sports forever, and Dame is bringing it like single-handedly right now. I love the beef with PG. I love the beef with Skip. I'm here for all of it, man. And the way I see it, man, he's right. Everything that he's saying is right. I'm not gonna say his language was correct. I'm not gonna call those guys chumps, but I mean, he's not wrong in what he's alluding to, man. They are kind of running from the grind, at least the way that he's grinding is very respectable. And Scruff, man, you did say it last week. I got to jump on board, man. The Blazers are definitely taking that eighth spot. You called it first. That we probably should have seen it a little sooner. Melo's balling as well. We got to mention him, throw his name out there. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that Dame and them boys are going to beat the Lakers in the first round. I got the Lakers winning it all. But it's going to go 7 games, and it'll probably be one of the better series of all the playoffs. So,
Well,
I'm hyped for it.
Before we go that far, is Dame even going to get that eighth seed? I mean, Devin Booker has been a one-man inferno even before the bubble. I think these guys have won 9 out of the last 10, 8 straight, something like that. I mean, the Suns are blazing right now, not to make a pun. Anybody catch Devin Booker? They see what this guy's doing, man. Another 35 and another win.
Man, I love what Book is doing. And I love that the Suns are undefeated, but this is going to be one of them things where it's just too little too late. It's nice for the bubble. It's good to see him balling in the bubble. And we'll be looking forward to what the Suns do in the future. But for my money, it's too little too late.
Makes sense. I see you shaking your head, Scruff. What you got to say about Book?
It's not too late. It's not too late. It's not too late, man. It's not too late at all, man. The one thing about Disneyland, it's where magic happens, man, where dreams come true.
Yes, sir.
So the Suns literally had a literal, long shot. I don't think anyone in the world would have picked them to actually come out. I was even thinking before that, I'm glad I didn't say it publicly. I was thinking, man, why are they even in there? But, they making some noise. They had a slight glimmer of hope to get into playoffs. Now they're about within a game. They're right there in striking distance. Right now, it's not unreasonable to think that the Grizzlies could fall out of the whole conversation. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think it's going to come down to the Suns against the Blazers for the final spot in the West play-in game. Now, I got my money on Dame to take it, but the way Devin Booker been playing, he ain't taking no L's, man. So right now they're undefeated in the bubble, honestly. And he's dude's playing out of his mind. He's been playing like that. Now the rest of the guys around him are stepping up too. I think the Suns have a legitimate opportunity to make the playoffs. Ultimately, though, I think the Blazers are the bigger threat.
Hey, G, what do you think, man? You think the Suns can make the push and knock the Grizzlies out? And do you think they could get past Dame if they did?
Refresh my memory. How's the NBA doing this 8th seed again? I think you have to be at least 1 game behind, I think, or half a game.
It's already a foregone conclusion that there is going to be a playing game. You have to be within 3.5 games. And that's already all the teams. Literally 4 teams are within that distance right now. So it could go anywhere.
You're talking about the Spurs still.
Suns,
right?
Spurs. Yep, Suns, Spurs, Grizzlies, Blazers, right there. 4 teams, one spot.
I still think coaching has a big thing to do with this game, this basketball game. So if the Suns have to go against the Spurs, I'm not gonna not put my money with Greg Popovich now, one of the best coaches in NBA history. So with the Suns, I mean, just like what Rome says, a little too late, man, because that's a big obstacle. That you're talking about playing against maybe the Spurs, right? And then going against Dame Lillard. Yeah, I'm not betting on the Suns, man. Devin Booker, I think he's going to Cancun pretty soon, my man. It was fun in Florida, right? I get it. He's doing good things. He's doing great things. Things that he should have been doing prior to the bubble. So at this point, just like what Rome said, I'm going to agree with Rome. It's a little too late. Just give us these great moments, but you're going to Cancun, my man.
I mean, look, we all know he's a prolific scorer. I mean, we've seen the guy light up the scoreboard, but he's finally putting it together with the wins. And I don't know, man. Popovich, I don't really like what the Spurs have. They don't look that enthusiastic. I'm not really putting my chips in DeMar DeRozan to get that team across the hump. I really think it'll be a Spurs and a Portland matchup. Rome, you think Portland could overcome a hot Devin Booker?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think I like I said, I think Devin Booker is high right now, and I think it's good for the bubble, and I think it's good for the moment. But I just don't see it lasting into the playoffs. I think Portland is just better suited to even get in there. I think they give the Lakers a better run for their money. I think the Suns are potentially swept right on out. I think that could be Devin Booker was hot, and then the flame goes out, and then it is what it is. So I think it works better for the Suns, even if they just have this little run. And they're the team that almost made it. And then we go into next season saying, what are they going to do?
Right, right. I'm a pivot a little bit, but I'm gonna stay on the Suns, man. Did you guys catch Draymond Green getting that $50,000 fine for tampering? Anybody see what that's about? If you're listening out there, basically, Draymond Green, I'm gonna summarize. He just said, get the kid out of Phoenix, man. Get the kid out of Phoenix. Phoenix isn't, get him to a place where he can do what he's doing and get, win. Be on a winning team where they can really get after a championship. So, Scrub, what you think about that, man? Fair fine? Was he tampering or just speaking his mind?
Man, he wasn't tampering at all, man. He was just doing literally what he was asked to do when he got brought on there. That's like ridiculous. You feel me? Like, why even have players come on the air if you can't even talk? Like, the dude said nothing about he didn't say, hey, come to Golden State. He said, yo, somebody need to get him out of there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get him out of there. He was criticizing the ownership, which realistically, they deserve to be criticized, man. When's the last time the Suns were in the playoffs? Like Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, them days, man. Like, come on, bro. That's the thing, man. $50K, bro, that hurts. I know them dudes is millionaires, like multimillionaires making crazy loot, but yo, literally, bro, he ain't do nothing different than what me, you, and the rest of us are doing right now. You just speaking the truth. You getting trying to find $50K? Like, that hurts, bro. That hurts, man.
Whoa. So they fined Draymond for that?
Yes, sir. Yeah. 50K.
Okay, I'm confused. What exactly did he say that other players haven't said in the past that have actually led to players leaving and joining up? I thought that was the thing. Like, what's going on?
Look, I got the exact quote right here, man. It's great to see Book playing well and Phoenix playing well, but get my man out of Phoenix. It's not good for him. It's not good for his career. Sorry, Chuck, but they've got to get Book out of Phoenix. I need my man to go somewhere that he can play great basketball all the time and win because he's that kind of a player. That's worth 50.
That's tampering?
That's $50K worth of tampering.
The NBA normally isn't bugging, but this is a very NFL-like move, bro. This is that I don't even understand it. That's a head scratcher. I hadn't seen this headline. That's a big head scratcher for me, man. It makes no sense.
I mean, if this is some sort of subtle play to get Booked to get out there with Golden State, then fine them $5 million for all I care. Stop the super teams. But if it's really an honest request, just to be humble and say, put my guy in a winning franchise, then I'm not against that. I'm not against that. What you think about it, G?
Man, let's not forget what Doc Rivers did last year with Kawhi Leonard. Remember, fellas? During the All-Star weekend, how he compared him to Michael Jordan. I believe he was fined like $500,000 by the league that the Clippers owner ended up paying for it just because he was like, that's my guy, Doc Rivers. But like, if nobody learned from Doc Rivers, I mean, Draymond Green, come on now, my guy. You know the league is watching, and you know the league is just like in their opinions, like stopping super teams as much as possible. Spread out talent everywhere. Spread it out, because that's what you want at the end of the day, no? You just can't have another fucking top 5 player or top 10 player just jump ship and go to the Golden State Warriors. Now that's all we're seeing every final is fucking Golden State.
Right.
French, man. I just can't see another. I am a Golden State hater at this point in my life.
Okay, so let me put the question. Let me put the question up like this: Did he get fined because he's with Golden State and they're known for building super teams? Because if Bradley Beal would have came out and said something like this on the Wizards, is that, you know what I mean? Are we worried about them becoming a super team, or is this because he's on the?
Bradley Beal.
I don't think I think it's got more to do with his reputation, if you ask me.
I think you're on something.
His reputation, man. It's like, man. I'll tell you what. We going back a number of years, but during my playing days, bro, I played a lot like Draymond Green. Real talk. I was a little bit of a dirty player. You feel me? I get you. I grab you. I grab your jersey. I do what I gotta do. But once the refs know that you're that guy, you get the reputation for being that guy. And then sometimes you legitimately try to turn a new leaf and you can't even do it. They're like, oh, look, there he go doing that same old stuff. So when Draymond's been a candid speaker, he's the type of dude to speak his mind, say what he wants. So he gets on there, man. They read, oh, what did Draymond say? Did he say another play? Okay. Tee him up. Like, come on, man.
No, I think you got a point. And this isn't Draymond's first time criticizing the Phoenix ownership. He did it with Marquise Chris too. So, what we got there? Draymond would have criticized either way. The moment Booker leaves the Suns, Draymond will say he's weak. That's another valid point, man. If he does link up with a team outside of Golden State, I could see Draymond coming around the other way and saying that's a weak move. You know, let's say he goes and play with KD and down there in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie. I can see Draymond being upset with that. But let's not spend all our
Philly.
Hey, that's a good landing spot for him, honestly. But let's it's a lot of guys on fire right now. Let's keep it pushing to some of these other names in the bubble, man. Luka, TJ Warren. These guys have been lighting it up too, man. Like, what do y'all think, man? Is it because of the bubble? Are these players just starting to come into their own? Like, what's going on?
Well, we're talking about Luka. We always knew he was going to be someone of a good player. Like, look at the way he ended last year. Like, that was my rookie of the year last year, and look at him now. It's just like the way he's ascending is just crazy though. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like, I thought he would be this great, but he's just fucking balling now. TJ Warren, I think he's more like fake gold. Like, I think it's just for the spirit of the moment until teams just actually start watching film on the guy and just like, oh shit, all right, we can stop him. You saw what my boy Jimmy Butler did, and then then a couple of these other players that are doing great is just like, all right, it's all about. I'm right now like, well, the way I'm feeling about the Lakers is just like, look at how they're playing right now, right? They're taking games one at a time. Some of these games they're not even trying to put the all foot in it, and then other games where they're putting the foot down to the pedal to make sure they win, like when we saw last night, the night before, when Kuzma shot that big three. And then we're talking about when he won against the Clippers, like certain games is where they're putting in all certain games. It's just like, all right, players are going to come. Let's ease it down. All depends on who we're watching and how we're style of play.
All right, I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Bryce here because, like you said, a lot of these teams at the top kind of have their position settled are picking which nights they're going to play their guys. You know what I'm saying? Except Toronto. I mean, even when Toronto's sitting a guy or two, like every night they bring playoff intensity. So Toronto's looking better and better to me. But who do you guys right now, if you had to pick a bubble MVP, who would it be? Because I've seen TJ Warren pretty much embarrass the Lakers. I mean, he threw the ball off LeBron's back. I mean, you don't do that to GOATs, man. you don't do that to GOATs. And Luka's getting triple doubles every single night. Nobody can seem to contain him. And we can't forget about Harden. So who do you got? Who's your bubble MVP? Who's your favorite person to watch right now? Must see TV.
Damian Lillard.
I gotta go Luka.
All right, we got a Lillard. We got a Luka. What about you, Scrub?
I gotta go Dame, bro. I gotta go Dame. But TJ Warren gets my most improved or most surprising player, if you will.
Okay.
All right, look. Real quick, let me explain why I'm going Luka. All right, over Dame. Dame started balling out after he missed those 2 free throws, right? So
right.
I can't give him too much credit for before that. He needed that extra motivation, and I love what's happening after the fact. TJ Warren, although he did ball on the Lakers, and T pointed it out what he did to the GOAT, yada, yada, yada. He also had some duds in there. There was a couple games, I believe, he had under 20 points, and those were pretty recent. So he had a couple duds in there too. And then Luka, man, he's just been the most consistent to me. He's been Luka every game. Like every game, he's giving you what he's got. That pass, bro. That pass between the legs. Oh, come on, bro. That was one of the dirtiest passes I've seen in a long time. And T, you know ball, so you can break that level of difficulty that's up there to do that full speed while all that's going. So I gotta go with Luka.
Look, let me rebuttal that because I agree with you 1,000%, man. When I hear about great passers, they bring up names like LeBron. But Luka he's just a natural basketball player. Now he's been playing pro since about 14 to 15. But that pass right there, off the pick and roll, which is NBA basketball, it's pick and roll, through the legs. He couldn't just dish it with the offhand because there's 2 defenders right there. I mean, to start with a crossover and just switch it through to the bounce. Oh man, that's beautiful basketball, man. That's music, and I love it.
I got something from Rome.
Hold up. Let's go. But for Luka to be the most consistent, Dame went for 61 and beat them tonight.
Yeah,
beat them tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
to be fair, my notes didn't include tonight's game.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
Hold on. Remember, Damian Lillard, right before he played the Clippers, he scored 45 points. The lowest scoring game throughout this bubble has been 21 points. Coming into the bubble, he scored 29 points. The game against Boston was 30 points. The game against Houston, 21 points. Denver, 45 points. Clippers, 22. Philly, 51. And today's game, 60. Like, how Damian Lillard's not your favorite player?
Oh, man.
And you're not even naming the whole stat line, bro. The thing is, he dropped 21 points in one game. Oh, 21, like that's not a lot. But he also dropped 9 rebounds, 8 assists in that same game. First game from the bubble, he dropped 30 and 16. Then he dropped 45 and 12. You feel me? Like, then he dropped 51 and then 61. The worst game he had was probably against the Clippers. He had 22. And like I said, you're right. He took an L. But he was balling before that. And he was balling after.
I mean, I can't. I don't want to knock Dame at all, and this isn't a knock, but right now I gotta watch Book, man. Not to harper back to Book, but like he's getting wins. He's getting wins in Phoenix. We haven't seen Phoenix win since I don't know, man. It's been a long time. Amari and Nash. That's the last time we've had some excitement in Phoenix. But Scruff, what's going on with your Sixers, man? I know you're a big Sixers guy. You got injuries. I mean, what's happening, man? Are you guys a threat or a joke at this point?
All right. First of all, we're not a joke, so we can rule that out of the possibilities. Wait, hold on. Wait your turn. We are not a joke. And I'll say another thing, man. Actually, I was pretty much ready to say that we're done, to be honest. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think we're all the way done. Like, we're like 3/4 of the way done, but we're not all the way done, man. I'll tell you what, man. When we got Joel Embiid in the lineup, actually, our record, so people always talking about, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. Like, when they haven't played together, they've been all right, man. Like, they played together and played well, too. But Joel Embiid, our record with him alone is pretty good. So here's the thing. If we're going to make it to the playoffs, we're going to secure probably the 6th seed. Now, even without Ben, what that means, we're just going to be we're going to be playing through Joel. Now, the way I see it, this bubble playoffs is all about matchups, man. You already know the Sixers struggled notoriously bad on the road this season. They were excellent at home, terrible on the road. Now, every game is the same. They're going against Boston. Season series against Boston, the Sixers have the edge. Now, another thing about Boston, about the matchup, is they don't really have a good big. Like, the Sixers made the tactical move to get Al Horford, and while it hasn't been the best move, it hasn't panned out exactly the way that they said or they hoped it would. This is the perfect time for Al Horford to come into play because Al Horford was literally one of the key pieces of the reason why Boston was beating us. Now, they don't have a center. Who's their starting center? Daniel Tice? You know what I'm saying? You're going to put Daniel Tice against Joel Embiid? You must be kidding me. And then we have Al Horford, too. Like, not only they can't stop either of our bigs. So if we just play through the bigs and their guards don't torch us, I think we have a chance to actually still advance. I'm cautious about it because ultimately I'm going to start the bandwagon if it already hasn't been started. Philadelphia started a while ago. Fire Brett Brown. I'd hope Brett Brown don't keep his job beyond this season. No disrespect to Brett. He's a nice guy. But he doesn't belong in the head coaching position anymore. He's already, his time's been up. Now, if he miraculously gets out the first round still, which I think I said it's possible. I don't know. I hope they don't get crazy and keep him for another year. But I think that if we can muster it up with the right matchup, them bigs are going to be a problem for Boston. So I wouldn't rule us out yet. No.
Hey, G, I want to swing it to you because you kind of had a smirk on your face. And I thought that was a fair opinion from a fan, you know what I'm saying, from a guy that supports the Sixers. I found that extremely fair, man. So what what was going through your mind?
What we're seeing right now with the Sixers is if the Sixers take the lead with Embiid, whatever you see in the bubble is whatever you're going to see from here on out. But they need to do something with Ben Simmons. Get him support. clearly this whole Ben Simmons and Embiid project is not going to work out. It hasn't worked out. There's nothing that the coach could fix at this point. Because at this point, it's like, you know what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So these guys haven't gotten it together, don't plan on having it together. So what you need to do is, I'm sorry, Nick, you need to trade Embiid. Find shooters for Ben Simmons. Because you got Harper, right? You got him at this point. He's your center. So you got a decent big. So just find shooters around Ben Simmons. Find better shooters. Draft a lot better. And you got to get a good coach. Like you got a lot of things to do come September or end of August, if anything. But it's just like, yo, the Embiid and Ben Simmons project is over, man. Like you guys, we're gonna see what Boston do to you guys each and every season from here on out. It's gonna torch you guys. Damn sure none of your guards are gonna stop them boys from putting some fire in here.
So we have two. So we have two takeaways so far. We got Scruff saying fire the coach, and the team's going to be all right. We got my man Demolo Ragu saying trade the center and trade Embiid and fire the coach. Hey, Rome, I'm afraid to give it. You might say sell the franchise. I don't know if I should go. What do you think? What do you think?
All right, I'm not going to pretend like I know how to fix the 76ers or what the best plan of action moving forward is. I'm going to just answer the question as it pertains to them in the bubble. And the answer is yes, they are done. I was planning on having a prop. I didn't grab it. I had a fork because that's how done they are. Like, it's time to eat.
Stick a fork in them.
The Sixers are done. Scruff, I mean, you mentioned something like getting out of the first round, but then I think you stopped talking about that because we know that's not going to happen. So, I mean, I think y'all avoid getting swept, which is good, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
All right,
so we were 3-1 against the Celtics during the season. Though Sixers were 3-1 against the Celtics. So first of all, they're not beating it all crazy or like I don't know what G was talking about. Oh yeah, the Celtics are gonna keep kicking us. Nah, what three? We beat them 3 times and they beat us once. How are they kicking up on us, bro?
I feel you. I think Tobias Harris is an underrated piece that people don't talk about enough.
No one wants to know. Was Ben Simmons
like
playing?
AI?
You heard?
Hey. The streets want to know, was Ben Simmons involved in that 3-1 record? Because he's not anymore.
Yeah. He's gone.
He wasn't involved in every game, but yeah, okay. Good point.
That's a fair point.
So it's gonna hurt, man. It's gonna hurt.
So, all right, man. I think we've covered most of the basketball talk. Anything else, you guys? Any other takeaways from the bubble? I'm enjoying the virtual fans myself.
One thing I wanted to bring up and see what everybody was thinking of was the Damian Lillard and Paul George beef. I don't know if y'all saw the girlfriend and the sister were getting into it, and it had me wondering, man, like how deep is this beef going to go? You know, like they're all in this bubble together. You know, they're all. It's not like we're going back to different cities after the game. You know, like are we going to see any brawls in the bubble? Could we see a bubble brawl possibly? What do y'all think about that? Should get a little too heated.
I think
conditions are right.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see a fight in the playoffs. I'm going to say we're going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go set the over under at 1. And I think we're going to go one fight and just between two guys, not a huge brawl, but it won't be Lillard and Paul George. They kind of have pieced it up since then. A phone call was made and they kind of, you know, square things away. I don't think anybody's going to punch anybody walking around the bubble.
Giannis headbutted somebody last night.
Didn't?
Yeah, he headbutted somebody from the Wizards and got ejected. Yeah. I was like, oh, shit.
I didn't see that. That's breaking news right there.
Yeah.
I ain't see that.
You sure he wasn't just punching the air?
Nah, bro. Like, he literally headbutted one of your boys from the Wizards, bro, and got ejected. I'm like, okay. Got my money on Giannis in this one.
All right. I'm watching the video live. It's certainly a headbutt, but it's also a flop. So it was Mo Wagner.
Oh.
Mo Wagner, victim of a vicious headbutt.
Cushion protocol, baby.
Yeah,
Hey.
nah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But also, shout out Kyle Kuzma, though. Shout out Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
He might be the X factor for the Lakers going forward because he came up big in the last night's game, man. And it's a beautiful thing. Shout out to Cardi B. You feel me? Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Winnie Harlow. I think that WAP giving them some good luck.
I mean, I guess.
You feel me?
Hey,
I mean,
Kuz is a bad boy. That man said he'd shoot it if Jesus was in front of him.
That's a little wild.
Impressive.
That is a
Jesus
little
out there right
wild.
now.
That is a little wild, bro.
I don't really expect him to make another big shot. Personally.
That quote was wild, man. If he misses another game winner, I guess Jesus stepped up and put that hand in his face, bro.
Scruff, you talk about Megan and Cardi. I mean, that's all bubble talk to me, but I mean, I know you had something to talk about with the football. What's good with the we lost G hip hop back in. What's going on with the football, man?
Hey, NCAA, man. I know y'all seen it. We hot on the breaking news. So let me break it down for y'all, man. Big time updates with the NCAA right now. Big Ten has officially canceled their season. Pac-12 has officially canceled their season. And another breaking news, the Big 12 is actually proceeding with the 2020 season despite the Big Ten and the Pac-12 obviously deciding to cancel the season. So with that being said, the NCAA, couple conferences, and the SEC has yet to announce what they're going to do. What's it looking like? What do y'all think about college football? Should they be playing college football? I mean, they don't even have kids on campus. Gee, I know you're a big college football fan. You right there in the heart of RU country. What you think about this, man? Should the NCAA cancel their season, man?
Man, I'm disappointed in the NCAA, man. At this point, right, this is the same organization that fine players, take away their trophies, and fucking blast these schools, right? When they give these players extra money and incentives, right? I want to say incentives in the quotations, right? They come and hand out these fines, right? But when it comes to securing the safety of these players, they don't even go on and just like cancel it for this fall semester because clearly, just like what you said earlier, there's no students in none of these universities or colleges right now at this point. There's no cure. There's nothing for this epidemic because God knows, like, yo, these players go on the field, then what? Already respiratory issues. Like, come on now, man. You guys know, man, I'm a big NCAA hater. I think that's a bullshit as organization. I swear that's the modern form of slavery right there, man, for players. Just say, you're amateurs. Come on now, man. And for them not to step out and be like, yo, listen, don't even give these conferences the time or chance to vote on it to be like, okay, we're going to play. Just cancel it straight out. Like, the Big Ten is the first program, right? But I don't even think they're the first big conference, right? But I believe there was some other minor conferences like the MAC-10 or something like that canceled the program.
Patriot League, they all canceled all that. Ivy League, the MEAC, all the conferences.
You know, but like, come on now. And the NCAA, like, this organization is supposed to be run with like a bunch of people, scholars and all this other bull crap. And you tell me they can't be like, all right, man, sometimes this isn't worth it because you got players in jeopardy. Come on, I get what Trevor says, like, yo, this is like a sanctuary for players to come in during the season to stay away from trouble back at home. But sometimes it's like, come on, man, like, you don't really need this. We don't need college football. And we don't need you guys to risk your lives just for some people, just to have some kind of enjoyment. Come on, it's not necessary. Let alone because you guys don't get paid. And when you guys do something, the schools can't even recognize you because the fucking NCAA is on their ass talking about, look at Reggie Bush when they took away his Heisman because he allegedly took some money, right, to support his family when they needed the money. So you're telling me, like, they can't be like, all right, let's just stop it, put it at pause. I think the NCAA is a fucking joke. I'm happy that the Big Ten said, no, we're going to suspend the season. At least we know somebody did something right.
I mean, let me just
go ahead.
I'm gonna just go ahead and jump in real quick. I agree with suspended football. For now, I'm surprised that guys are still trying to play. Like Struff said, if the Patriot League shut down, the Ivy League shut down, these are smartest guys in the country. I mean, these are guys that are gonna create all the rules going forward. Like if they're not playing, they're not risking, you know what I'm saying, their health. Yeah, everybody should shut it down. And I like the spring. I feel like if everything gets going in the spring at the same time, this might be the best sports moment of all time. Like potentially, we can get a vaccine out there and everything starts at the same time. I mean, we could have college football, we could have basketball, we could have everything going at once, and I would love it. But right now isn't the time. We should prioritize the health of the players and the children, and that's just that.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple decision, fellas. I mean, we're talking about college football. We're talking about student athletes. So if you can't go to class, if you can't physically go into the classroom, why in the world would you physically be playing on the football field that is also located at the school? The big problem that I've always had with the NCAA, much like G, is that it's just a facade, man. I mean, but we say student athlete, we act like it's about school, and then they make billions and billions of dollars off these kids playing football and basketball and whatever other sport, and the kids see none of that money. The kids get punished for even attempting to see the money, and then we're going to try to make them go out here and play in a pandemic, and that is absolutely insane. Now, I think professional sports, that's a whole nother story. The NFL, if those guys want to play, if they're choosing to play and they're also collecting a paycheck for playing, then that is a whole nother situation. So I actually advocate for that. And I think if they can make it safe and the players agree to do it, then go ahead and do it. But these college players are not seeing a dime. Some of these players come from very poor neighborhoods and poor communities. Their families are struggling and being hit by this pandemic harder than other people. And you want them to go play to fill your pockets while their families see nothing. And that is ridiculous. That is why I'm such a huge advocate for the XFL and other amateur football leagues, even the league that we cover. Maybe some of these younger college players should start looking into semi-pro leagues or the XFL or whatever, the AFF, whatever football league may come up. They really need to target the college players, start siphoning them away from this NCAA, say, here, you're not going to make as much as you make in the NFL, and that still needs to be your main goal, but why play college and make nothing when you can play here and make something? And then it's at least a little bit worth the risk. A little bit worth the risk. Now we've seen some players in the NFL even opt out and say, it's still not even worth the risk, even making millions of dollars. But at least if you have, I know it sounds silly, at least if you have a bunch of money on the table, you can make a decision. Whereas opposed to you're just a student, you're supposed to be going to school first. It's supposed to be about school first, and they're telling you can't go to class. So it's not even a question on there for playing sports. If school is closed, sports are closed. It makes no sense. I can't believe it's even a conversation.
Whew, that boy preaching.
Nah, that was accurate, man. That was accurate. So right now we got the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12. So far, plans remain unchanged. They are not making any changes so far. We'll see what happens, man. And I gotta agree with pretty much all of y'all right now. I get it, man. Dude, like student athletes, how can you really sit here and you're the NCAA and try to say that these are student athletes, and you guys are trying to put them out there in the middle of a pandemic when you aren't putting your students out there? So I'm gonna quote the great Coach Carter. I say, student athlete, the student comes first. You feel me?
Hey, look, I don't want to disrespect
Carter.
Any of the fans of college football or pro football, but if you don't know by now that student athlete is just one of those buzzwords to, sound good and look good, then you haven't really been paying enough attention. And really, yeah, again, you're risking the lives of students or their family members or, just other people. It's just these guys still got to go to restaurants and eat. They're still going to go to McDonald's and all that. Like even if they're not themselves harmed from this COVID, right? We don't know the long-term effects. So that's still one key unknown. But let's say just right now, the fact that they could still be out here spreading it amongst each other. It's college. You're going to be around women. I don't care what you say. You're going to be in social environments. I don't care if the kids are on campus or not. Like there's plenty of guys that live right outside of campus in apartments, and there's going to be parties. There's going to be social gatherings. It just doesn't make sense. But what I will say, let's not pretend that college football it's the cash cow. Like it drives all of these universities. Some of these major universities, Texas. What's the difference between Texas and Rhode Island? It's football. All right. Texas is a big time university because football is bringing in millions and millions of dollars. So I'm not surprised to see that they don't want to shut down that cash cow, but it just lets you know, like in America, like capitalism is the dollar is king, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, you're 100% right. The dollar is absolutely king, and it even goes back to my point of why I think it's okay for professional athletes and not the quote unquote student athletes. Because at least if you're professional and you're getting paid, you can make that decision for you and your family. But it's disgusting what the NCAA is trying to do.
Well, how do you guys feel about a league like, all right, we got three conferences or two or three conferences playing in the fall, and then we got a couple playing in the spring. Like, how would you even crown a national champion? Like, how does that even make sense, man? Like, I
Yeah,
haven't.
and you're right when you say it's all about the money and stuff, man. You're right. They don't even really care about crowning a national champion. That worked when there was no COVID and there was money in that. Now they just want to get it on TV because that's what
Facts.
I mean. They just want to get it on the TV. They don't, and that's why I'll never stop advocating for another football league. In the same way that we got the D League, Major League Baseball has the minors. I College football is the only, and I might be wrong, but it's the only sport that I can think of where you can't go pro really without attending the school first. And like for me, I would be going to school for other things other than sports. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. Like it's deep, and we could have a whole pod on it, a whole show on it. But like D already
Think
said, man,
about
I
it.
try
They're
not to
doing it
cuss on
for
the show,
3
but
years.
fuck the
3 years
NCAA.
mandatory.
Yeah, G, go ahead, talk on it.
Now think about it. The NCAA milk student athletes for 3 years, especially you play baseball. I mean, not baseball, football. 3 years mandatory before you even allowed to get drafted. And now you're talking about, look at the COVID situation going on in Florida. Players in Florida, right, having to travel outside of the state of Florida to then play players from other states, right? Now you're talking about the spread of COVID at a higher rate because all these players is going to be out there, out and about, or players from other states coming down to Florida. What? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. And that's why I'm utterly disgusted with the NCAA when it's just like, yo, what happened to the whole student thing? It's just like what my man Nick said. It's just like, isn't the student comes first before the athlete? Like, come on now, man. This shit is a joke.
Where are your principles, man? And really, it starts at the top, man, because it's like the leagues. When you see things like that, when you see the conferences making the decisions, then and it's because the higher ups haven't made the decision. If the NCAA decided to put their foot down and say, "Hey, look, we're putting an end to this. This is what we need to do for the protection of the student athlete," because that's ultimately what they're supposed to be doing. But when you got all these conferences, it's like the wild wild west. Like, okay, we could play. All right, we're playing. Like, okay, like. That's the problem. Everybody's trying to make their own decision. There's not a unified decision. Like, it needs to be from the higher ups. And the higher ups is probably sitting there like, I ain't going to tell them to stop. Like, I'm trying to get that check. You know how much money that Auburn LSU game makes? You know what I'm saying? And them Southern folks, man, they'll riot. They'll probably will riot. They'll probably be out there with their guns out. You feel me? They got the right to bear arms. I've been in the South, man. Folks are strapped. They might come out and start, It's a culture, man. It's really a culture.
So
it's not fair.
I do wonder this. So if games go on and your conference decides to play, right, and you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, whatever the case may be, should you be allowed to redshirt and opt out of the season and keep your eligibility?
Absolutely. That's another thing I think the NCAA isn't really looking into. They're really banking, and like they always do, they're banking on these guys just wanting to play. You know what I mean? Like needing to play. Like, this is what you've been working your whole life to get, and we got it. So you're going to do what you need to do regardless of a pandemic or whatever. And that's what they're banking on. But they're going to have something in place for the guys that are going to say, nah, I'm opting out. I'm not putting this at risk. Because if they don't, if you try to punish those guys or you don't have some type of like red shirt system for them, you will look like even bigger clowns than they already look like. So they're going to have something.
Yes,
I think they are, because didn't they do that for March Madness, where the players didn't get to play for March Madness, so they told them, hey, you can come next year and play. So I think they do have some kind of little program for them or some kind of red shirt. But
something has to happen.
Something.
Yeah, at the very least, man. It's crazy, man. We're talking about people's life and they're talking about people's health, man. All for entertainment, man. So that brings me on to the next topic, man. You know what time it is. Entertainment. You feel me? We all sports junkies. You feel me? We talk about sports literally all day. We live for it. But we are sports for the culture. We are cultured individuals, all four of us, man. We have balance. You feel me? We have depth. we watch other things than sports. So with that being said, the What Are You Watching segment. It's been a while. We brought it into the quarantine because we literally had nothing else to watch. But now, what are you guys watching besides sports? Rome, I'm going to start with you.
I'm glad you started with me, man. You led us into this very well. You know, we have culture. We're all very deep thinking people and all that. We don't just watch sports. But as my wife would tell you, that's probably not even entirely true about me. I watch sports way too fucking much. And what I'm currently watching, or what I will be watching once we're done recording, is Hard Knocks. It debuted today. It's a sports show, but it takes you a little bit in depth behind the scenes. You know, you get to see a little bit more than just the ball throwing and the catching. You get to see, you know, the family lives and the ins and outs of what it's like to be in the NFL. I love watching it every season. Any team, I could care less what team they put on it. It always interests me. And I'm hyped for episode 1. I think this year they're doing the Chargers and the Rams, so that's a little different. It's a COVID year, so things will certainly be a little different. I also like how they do it live. Like I believe they record it a week in advance, and then they come out with that week's episode. So whatever we're about to see tonight is what they were doing last week. So I like that little factor into it as well. So I'm gonna be watching Hard Knocks.
Nice, like a reality show. It's good stuff, though. The Chargers and the Rams, by the way, are the two teams this year for those at home looking for something to watch. The LA football teams. G, what you watching right now?
Shit, what am I not watching? Right now I'm watching the Umbrella Academy. Season 2 just came out on Netflix, and
Yes,
I
sir.
am hooked. Matter of fact, just right before we started the show, I just finished watching the first season. At first, I didn't like it. It was a slow start, just like the way Breaking Bad. You know how Breaking Bad took like season 3 for anybody to actually be hooked on it. This like after episode 2, I was like, oh shit. So nobody knows it's about 7 orphans that one rich guy adopts, and all these kids have some kind of superpower, and they're trying to save the
Spoiler
world.
alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, a lot of spoiler alert. But it's fucking crack on TV, man, or on Netflix. It's something you're gonna be watching.
Okay. Umbrella Academy, definitely adding that to my list. T, what you watching, man?
Okay, so like most people, like my man G, I too am watching Umbrella Academy, so I won't talk about it too much. I will just say I recently rewatched the entire season 1. I almost never rewatch movies or shows, but I loved it the second time even more. So season 2 is out right now. Check it out on Netflix. But right now I am watching a HBO show because HBO does not miss when it comes to their television series. I'm watching I May Destroy You. I don't know if you guys know about this show, but it's created and written by Michaela Cole. She's British. She's 32. She's absolutely a genius. She had a show on Netflix as well, Chewing Gum. They offered her like $1 million for season 3 or something. She turned it down smartly, and HBO gave her the battery. And I May Destroy You is a great show. I don't want to really compare it to Insecure, but I will say this: I enjoy it more than Insecure. And as far as what the show is about, I think it almost doesn't do it any justice to describe it. I would just say it's centered around sexual assault. It's centered around a lot of conversations that we should have, period. You know, just as humans. So it's really a show about everything, but the backdrop is sexual assault. So I May Destroy You, literally watching it, there's some tough conversations to be had, and it's funny though. But it's funny, it's lighthearted, it's serious, it hits everything. But it's really a show that, depending on how you've lived or your views, it might destroy you as a viewer. But it's great TV, and shout out to her, Black woman. She's a genius, and she's British, and she's not getting enough credit or support, in my opinion. So yeah, shout out to her. I May Destroy You, best show on TV right now.
Definitely checking that out.
Definitely shout
Yo,
out to
can
her.
I add another one?
What you got? Go ahead. You get a bonus. Bonus round.
Unsolved Mystery on Netflix is more crack on TV. There's only 8 episodes on right now. I believe by November or November, they're gonna throw you another 8 episodes. It's like a 2-part, but this is like an on-running show since like back in the 80s. It's just Netflix picked it up now, and it's just like, oh my god, so crazy. I may destroy you. I might have to watch that. I might have to, get it on a private site.
Hey, check
I got
check
one
that
too.
out.
You already know. You already
Hey,
know.
hold on, Scruff. Let me throw my
You got one
sleeper.
more?
My little sleeper
Okay.
pick that I'm watching right now. I ain't gonna go into it too much, but if you ever been to Magic City, if you ever been to Stadium, a couple of these gentlemen's club, P Valley, man. It's on Stars. P Valley, man. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest show, but it is entertaining, and I think we go to those gentlemen's clubs for entertainment. So check that out. But go ahead, Scruff.
You stole it, man. That was what I was about to say.
No.
That's literally what I'm watching. It's all good though. It speaks to the show. I'm gonna elaborate a little bit. You feel
Do
me?
your thing.
Yo, P Valley, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm keeping it a buck with you. I first started watching it because it was daytime. Was no games on. I said, you know what? Let me see what this is going on. You feel me? End of the day, worst case scenario, I'm gonna see some skin. You know what I'm saying? Now, what really made me want to watch it is actually Gas was in attendance at a Power premiere, and we actually met the girl that plays Miss Mississippi. You feel me?
Who am I? Crooked letter?
Yeah. I ain't gonna do all that because I don't even. That's complicated. But we met her at the premiere. Beautiful young actress, very talented girl. She's on the way up. She actually played in Power. So shout out to her. She's doing her thing. But also, man, P Valley, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. It is deeper than just like, ass and titties. So real talk, man, them girls live crazy lives, bro. It's a lot of stuff going on. It's like pretty much all the main stuff that you need in the show. You're gonna be entertained for the very least. That's now on my regular watch list every Sunday. I binged the whole first 5 episodes and it only took me about a day. I ran through them pretty quick. So P Valley, that's on my list for what I'm watching. Go ahead, T.
I mean, look, I ain't mean to steal your thunder, but that P Valley, if you're not watching, if you haven't heard about it, I caught it on a whim. I saw somebody tweeting about P Valley. It popped up on my Amazon, said I should watch it. I checked it out, and now it's a must watch. It popped up. no pun intended, but it's a must watch at this point. So let me tell you.
stand for?
We can't say that without the FCC.
That's the name of the town. That's the name of the town, though, for real.
Okay. It's like a double entendre. It's like a double entendre. I got you.
Yeah, man. It's really about one exotic dancer, stripper, what have you. She's looking to exit the game and kind of like the drug game and be legit, or you know what I'm saying, make a good business out of it. And then there's a whole real backstory about this mysterious stripper that we don't really know about her past, and they're giving us flashbacks, and she's kind of the next big thing in that strip club, and we're trying to really get to the root of what her background is and what her situation is. I can't really describe it more than that without spoiling it, but I mean, it's one of those for the culture shows, because you have the music, you have the food, you have that Southern culture, you know what I'm saying, the accents and the pole dancing and what you really would expect if you go down south in a small town and you walk into one of those gentlemen's clubs. So good show, man. If you haven't checked it out, watch it.
But in the TV show?
Nah,
it's not.
I mean, it's really like nothing I've ever seen, to be honest.
Yeah, like it's kind of its own thing, and I want to say it might be like a spinoff of Hustlers or something, but I don't even think that gives it its right credit. But you got to watch it.
It's like Power, but for strippers. If that makes sense.
That's what I was kind of feeling. Y'all were saying. I
like that
Power, but for strippers.
Yeah, there's a couple.
It goes in depth.
Yeah, it's a lot of little storylines here and there. I don't think people aren't going to enjoy this. I think no matter what you're in TV for, there's something for you.
Yeah, just don't have the kids with you, bro. Them boys gonna be learning some new things.
Hey man, I had my 1-year-old with me, and I started looking at that WAP video, and I was like, "Oh no!" Didn't realize it was gonna be like that.
We already covered the bubble.
Watch that video.
Get that privacy glass for your phone. It's a good investment. Another great episode, fellas. Another great episode. As y'all know, we're
Yes,
talking about.
indeed.
Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead, T. Go ahead, tell them where they can find us.
Hey, man, look, if you're not watching on Twitter already or YouTube, man, please do that, man. That's the best way to take this in. Also, you can find us on Spotify, Apple. I mean, we have the podcast. Look, man, your morning commute, when things get back to normal, when we get back to the streets, use us when you're going to work, when you're coming home. We have the app, Gas Network. GoodAssSportsBlog.com, man. My guy Rome is a article machine, man. Shout out to Rome. He's a great writer, man. Check him out. You can really find us wherever you find anything. Your social media, wherever you find your music, wherever you find your podcast. I mean, wherever you find your apps. That's Gas. That's where we are.
Yes, sir. Bringing that heat on the regular. You know what time it is. So make sure you stay tuned. One more thing I'm going to add, though. Make sure you stay tuned on our Instagram, man. Stay tuned on them sports sound offs, man. Gas Sports Sound Off. Rome been putting in work there. This dude is literally a machine. I got a little sound off out there right now talking about Cam Newton and some of the top quarterbacks with something to prove. So go ahead and, if you're not following us at Good Ass Sports on Instagram, stop looking at chicks all day. Go ahead and get some
Hey. While we're on the topic of sound offs, man, I want to give a shout out to two new members of Gas. We got Don Hollinsworth II and Chris Holt, man. Those guys have been putting in good work, man. Good guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys. And hey, check us out. Check them out, man. Good additions to the Gas team.
Yeah, man. Definitely get down with the squad while we're growing, man. Get on board now. Get on board. Get on this.
If you're out there listening, there are opportunities, man. Reach out to us. You see our ads. Reach out to us if you want to join the team, man. We'll find a place for you, man. Just let us know. We'll figure it out.
Yes, sir. You already know what time it is because we are sports for the culture. That means we are a community. So as always, we're going to sign out like we always do. Go ahead, fellas. Sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.